Hello guys, welcome back to the class. In the previous class, we have learned what is project and how to create project. And in this class, we are going to learn how to save the project and how to open the project. So to open the project, we need a video here on the timeline. So let's drag a video here on the timeline. So I have dragged a video here on the timeline. So let us assume the video here on the timeline is an edited video. To save the video as a project, let's go to File. Click on Save Project As. Choose your location wherever you want to save your project. I want to save my project here on desktop, and name your project, like I will name Save Project, and click on Save, and my project has been now saved. And now let's see how to open the Save project. To open the project, let's go to File. I'm gonna open the project which I've recently saved on the desktop. Come down to Open Project. As you know, I have saved my project here on the desktop. I will click on Desktop and find your project. This is my project, and I will click on my project and I will click on Open. And as you can see, my project has been now open. So this is how you can save your project and you can open your project. Okay. So to understand what is project in a better way, let's take an example. I hope everyone here have been worked on Microsoft WordPad earlier. What we used to do here in the Microsoft WordPad is, we used to create a new document to write the information, correct? Once done, we used to save it as a document, and if any changes require, we used to come back to the saved document and we used to make that change, right? Here in the Filmora, the project plays the same role. Okay, before we edit our video, we need to first create a project, and once the project is created, we can edit our videos and we can save our editings as a project. So if any changes require, we can come back to the saved project and we can make the change, correct? So now I hope you understand what is project and why to create project, correct? And now let's see how to create a project. So let's open a Filmora X software. See, there are two ways to create a project. One is, when you open the software for multiple times, then you will directly get this window. From here you can create a project, and for now I am not going to create my project from here. So simply I will click on New Project and my software has been opened. Let's go to File and let's come down to Project Settings. From here you can create your project, okay? And to create a project, we need to set some parameters, okay? So we need to set aspect ratio. Aspect ratio, as I told you, aspect ratio means the height and the width of the video. The aspect ratio is totally dependent upon you, where you want to upload your video. If you want to upload a video on YouTube, then you can go for 16:9 widescreen. This is a default aspect ratio, okay? And if you want to upload your video on Instagram, then go for Instagram, okay? Its aspect ratio is totally up to you, okay? So for now I'm going to select my aspect ratio of 16:9 widescreen, which is also the default aspect ratio, okay? So the second option which I get is resolution. Resolution means the video quality. You can also relate the resolution with the YouTube videos. When we watch YouTube videos, we set the resolution, right? So I'll set it up to the second option, which is 1080p. So here you also get HD, full HD, because of which it's easier to set your resolution, right? So if you have shot your video on 4K camera, then you can go for the third and fourth option also, but for now I'll use second option, okay? And the frame rate means frame per second, okay? If I keep my FPS on 25 FPS and I drag a video on the timeline here, then I'll get 25 pictures in 1 second, okay? Now how to set your frame rate? If you have shot your video on the camera, check out the FPS on the camera. Just set your FPS as per the camera, okay? So the default frame rate is 25 FPS and you can go up to 60 FPS, but here I'll keep my FPS on 25 FPS, okay? and I'll click on OK, and now my project has been created. Okay. If you're a bit confused how to create a project, I will also show you other way, which is the easiest way to create a project. So now let's go to File and let's come down to Project Settings. These are the project settings which we made earlier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my aspect ratio, resolution, frame rate to any random settings. Like I'll set my aspect ratio to portrait, and I'll set my resolution to 3840, and I'll set my frame rate to 50 fps, and I'll click OK. So now when I drag a video on the timeline, as you can see, I get this message over here which says the resolution or the frame rate of this media does not match to the settings of the project. Do you want to change the project settings to match this media? If I want to match the video with the project, so I need to change my project settings. If I don't want to match the media as per the project settings, then I will go for key project setting. But if I go for the project settings, the width and the height of the video will be changed. Let's see once. If I click on it, as you can see, my video is in the format of the project settings which I have set earlier. Right? If I again drop a video on the timeline and if I click on match to media, then as you can see, my project settings have been changed, right? And always remember, if you are a bit confused how to create a project, set your project settings to any random settings. Okay. And when you drag a video here on the timeline, you'll get a message and you just need to click on match to media. That's it. Your video will be set as per the project settings. That's it. And the project settings will be set as per the video. Okay.